Welcome back to FM Storey. In the last episode, we began season 2 of this save where we tried to end the dominance of Celtic and Rangers in Scottish football. We got off to a good start. We were 4th in the league. We've made it to the League Cup semi-final where we'll have a chance to knock Rangers out. We've also got Rangers coming up fairly early in the league in this episode. So without further ado, let's get into the action. So we're straight into the Rangers game. We've played one game since the end of the last episode, which was a home game against Hearts, which we ended up winning 1-0. We were very, very much hanging on at the end. They had a goal disallowed late on. They also hit the crossbar with a free kick, with practically the last kick of the game. We've made one change to the starting lineup from that game and from the end of the last episode when we won in the quarter-final of the League Cup. O'Donnell's back in a right wing back and Pinto's dropped back down to the bench. We do have had a bit of a injury concern. Bruce Anderson went off injured last game. He's fit enough to start, but probably not to play the full game. Mason Burstow, who we probably would have started, picked up a hamstring injury and he's out for 2 weeks. So we are, this was the concern we had when we went ahead Bruce Anderson. Now that we've got Anderson and Burstow, it's still a concern that we don't really have anyone to put up front. But Anderson's fit enough to start. We'll give it a go and we'll see. We're in front, we might be able to bring him off and pack the midfield a bit more. But both can get off to a decent start. They're obviously doing well at the top of the table, unbeaten. They've only drawn one game. So it's going to be a tough one. But I think we've got enough quality this season to be able to take some chances if we can create. Right, so we're going with our usual sort of 5-4 in a diamond and 1 up front. They're going 4-2-3-1. They've obviously signed Luka Jovic to play up front. But other than that, the rest of the starting lineup is pretty similar to what we played against last season. Velasquez down the left, looking for Spittle, but Bolton cuts it out. And then they've gone back to Butland. And then gone long. Casey wins the header, Doherty onto Miller, Spittle looking for Bruce Anderson. What a start. Oh, surely that was onside. Oh, thought that was going to be the perfect start after 90 seconds. So Doherty moves it on to Miller, into Spittle. Oh, he was actually quite a way offside. It was harder to tell because the defenders got back in pretty quickly. Right, O'Donnell with throwing deep in their half. Miller back to O'Donnell, swings a crossover, and it's far too easy. No one challenging the keeper for it. Butland then goes long. Casey collects it back into Velasquez. Casey into Slattery. Miller. O'Donnell's got loads of space to run into there. Oh! Could have squared it. Although Anderson, I think, had probably gone offside again. The slight concern I've got is all the chances we're seeing are ours, and we've not taken one yet. Right, they've got to throw deep in our half this time. Matondo. Fuentes back to Matondo. Tavernier. Basically, just what I was fearing. We've had all the chances, we're not taking them. Their first attack that we've seen, and he buries it in the bottom corner from the edge of the box. Right, Beracol into Miller. Anderson on for Doherty. Velasquez overlapping on the left. Can we get the cross in? Pulls it back. Oh! How did that not go in? Butland spills it. It went straight to our player and he's basically hit it at Butland and Spittle to take the corner from the right. Goes short. Slattery. Oh! We're having all of the shot, all of the chance. Just can't take one. Spittle with the corner from the left. Right, another throw deep in our half. Last time they had one here, they scored into the box. Jovic. Every time we see a highlight that starts with them having a throw deep in our half, they've scored. All the other highlights have been our chances. I do not know how we are losing this game. We've had all the chances, and yet they've scored twice. Right, we've sent the same team out to start the second half to see if they can get us back into it. But if not, we'll have to make some change. Right. Tavernier infield into Jovic, back to Tavernier. Now they're just going to give us the runner, and that's a red card. Right, from the resulting free kick, Tavernier in space down the right hand side. He's gone past Velasquez. Raskin into the box. What on earth? Thank God for that. I think that's the first time we've had a VAR for a penalty in the whole save that hasn't been given. Right, Matondo into Cantwell. Cifuentes. Sterling. No. If that's a foul, how's the ball ended up where it has? Given how that first half went, I don't know how this has happened. Well, I do. They've got much more quality and they take the chances when they get them. But there's no need to panic just yet. Although we may need to sign an extra striker in January because of the injury. If we get someone suspended and injured at the same time, nah. But there we have it, full time. I mean, in the end, the XG favoured them largely because of that penalty. Match stats are pretty even. Just we didn't take any of our chances and they took all of theirs basically. But obviously we are going to get a chance for revenge in this episode. We've got the semi-final of the League Cup coming up later on against Rangers, so hopefully we can put in a better performance in that game. It's now time for the League Cup semi-final and another game against Rangers. I mean, as you can see from the bottom, we've played them 5 times already in the save and we've only won 1. We've lost a few of the 4. Obviously, we're looking for revenge after that 3-0 defeat that we've just suffered against them in the league. Since that game, we've got back on track with the form. We ended up beating Dundee 2-1. We also managed to miss a penalty in that game. But we did come away with a victory. St Mirren, we won. We took advantage of 2 own goals from St Mirren to do so. We did have a player sent off, so we were hanging on a bit towards the end. And then in the most recent game against Dunfermline, it was a 0-0 draw where there was basically not many chances at all. The best chance in the first half, Velasquez volleyed over from a tight angle, and then in the second half, deep into injury time, practically the last kick of the game. Slattery hit the bar with a free kick. But we're not. I don't think we're in the kind of form we need to be if we're going to be able to knock Rangers out. It's obviously going to be a tough ask. It is a neutral ground, but I think we're going to struggle. But you never know. It's a one-off cup tie. They might underperform. We might be absolutely outstanding. We might come away with a victory and get through to the final. But let's find out. Since the side we've picked to take on Rangers, we've got back to pretty much what would be our starting lineup. The only player that's not in, that would normally be in, is Diafara, who had picked an injury. He played the last game because of Beracal's suspension. He's not fit with more than 45 minutes for this game. So he's starting on the bench. Mugabe starting in the centre, back three. Gives us a bit more power from set pieces, hopefully. Looking at their team, see they've made a few changes, or at least one change from the team that played us in the league, in that Tavernier's not starting, so hopefully we can take advantage of that. But they've switched to a 4-4-2 rather than the 4-2-3-1 that they played in the league game. Hopefully we can take advantage of the extra numbers in the midfield. There's not much happened in the first half. They're starting to have a lot of the ball. They've had 3 shots all on target, none of them particularly good, but we haven't seen a highlight. Slattery with a free kick for us. Into Anderson. Mugabe forces a corner. The possession's much more even now than it was early on. Throwing deep in their half. Danilo back to Williams. Raskin back to Wilson. And looks like they're going to try and pass it through us. Danilo drifting across the pitch, finds the left back. He drives forward. They're into the box. Hernandez. And it's turned behind by Liam Kelly. Now, can we get our head on this corner, clear it, get them away from our goal? Miller gets his head to it. They get the loose ball. They've worked themselves back into the box again. And somehow that's gone in at the near post, by the looks of it. I assume so anyway. Because that's gone the other side of it. Just not having anyone on the edge of the box has caused a problem there. Found Hadji, who's just drifted inside and just smashed it towards the goal. And they've gone 1-0 up. Right, O'Donnell with the throw. Doherty back to O'Donnell. We've won it back again off them. Velasquez to Slattery. Gone all the way back to the centre half. Beracal infield to Slattery. O'Donnell goes down the outside into Miller. Slattery from distance forces the keeper to turn it behind for a corner. And there we are, it's half time. A pretty even first half. Look at the matches. We've even managed to, from having like 30% possession early on, we've actually managed to have more possession in that first half. The difference is exactly the same as the league game. They've taken the chance, we haven't, and we need to be much better. Throw deep in their half. They've gone back to the centre half. What we don't seem to be able to do is nick the ball off them as they're trying to play out from the back. Hadji, Dowell, into Danilo, and now they're away down the right hand side, back into Danilo, and get into the box and shoot. And luckily he drags it wide. Right, we've won the ball back and then given it away straight away. How did 2 Rangers players come out of that with 5 of our players around them? Long ball over the top for Hernandez to chase, gets to the byline, drives into the box, squares it, and that's probably game over, I would think. Although the flag's up for something, and I don't know quite how that can be offside. Unless Hernandez was offside from the long ball. Which he clearly wasn't. So what are they? No, because he runs. I mean, never offside anyway. Right, it's time to smash the ball forward and see if it causes a bit of chaos. Got a free kick on the edge of the box here. Slattery to take it. Oof. Right. Is that the catalyst we need to get further back into the game? We've pulled a goal back quickly after they got the second. Lovely free kick, gave the keeper no chance. Now, are we going to be able to create more chances, or are they going to pick us off as we try to come forward and create chances ourselves? Throw into us, O'Donnell to take, Spittle, O'Donnell with the cross. They've headed clear as far as Doherty. Dreiser on the outside into the box. Forces the save from the keeper. Right, Spittle to take the free kick corner, pulls it to the edge of the box. Anderson then stands it up. And we've been given offside. Goal kick for them. They've flicked it on, but Berrakal picks it up, finds O'Donnell, and then he gives it away. And now this is going to wrap it up for them. Yep. That was always going to be likely. The more we threw people forward to try and get something, a loose pass, picked us off on the counter. Jovic just spins in behind the defender and just nice finish into the bottom corner. Give the keeper no chance. And that's Rangers into the final. I have to say, pretty disappointed. I mean, again, on another day, we've taken some of the early chances we had. That could be a completely different game. But the second half, we didn't create enough. We made it through to the semi-final, which is more than the board were asking for. And now we just need to bounce back and continue the decent league form we've had. So we've made it to the end of November. We've actually got a bit of our mojo back since losing that cup semi-final to Rangers. It wasn't an immediate one, certainly. We took the lead against Hibs after 15 minutes, then missed a penalty 2 minutes later, and then basically capitulated. And every time they went forward in the second half, it looked like they were going to score. We ended up losing that one 4-1, but we bounced back with a strong performance against Aberdeen, although we were a bit leaky defensively and hanging on a bit towards the end, but we came away with a 4-3 victory. And then we followed that up with a really comfortable 3-0 victory away in Inverness. What that means is that we're currently sat 5th in the table, and we've got a nice buffer for that top 6 position. I mean, we're 8 points clear of Hearts, who are in 6th. We're 10 points clear of Aberdeen, who are in 7th. So hopefully we can continue with that form, make sure we finish in the top half, which is the main ask from the board this season, and carry on with that. Obviously, one thing just to note, looking at the table, St Mirren, who finished 5th last season, and who at the start of the season, probably around this time last season, were challenging Rangers at the top of the table, are rock bottom of the league. They've played 14 games and lost 10 of them so far this season. So it is obviously a league where some teams will do well one season and then collapse the next season. But we're in a relatively strong position, and hopefully we can kick on in the next episode. And there we have the end of another episode. We are approaching the midway point of the season, and as we said, we're in a pretty strong position. We managed to make it to the semi-final of the League Cup before getting knocked out by Rangers. We are comfortably in the top half as it stands, as long as we continue with that run of form. Next episode, we've got big games in the league against Rangers and Celtic, and we've also been drawn against Celtic in the Scottish Cup, an away game as well. So every chance that we're going to go out with the Scottish Cup at the first time of asking. But hopefully we can continue on how we've played in these last 2 league games, carry on going up the league, maybe even nick that game against Celtic in the Scottish Cup. But we'll find out next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.